So you just had a successful hunt and you want a European mount, but you don't want to spend a bunch of money and you don't know how to do it. I'll show you how to boil the skull, whiten it, and mount it on a simple board. This is a do-it-yourself and you can finish it in a weekend. My name's Kyle, and this is Wicked Alaska. If you plan to boil your skull, you'll need something to boil the water with. If you don't already have a boiler, Lowe's or Home Depot is a great place to look. Ideally, the pot you use is going to be bigger than the skull you're boiling. If you have a big skull like an elk or a moose, sometimes people use 55-gallon drums. I would set up your boiler station outside, not the garage, and definitely not the kitchen. You don't want the wrath of your wife. Once you get the skulls boiling, things get pretty steamy, and it'll also get really stinky. And it'll stick on everything in your garage. Not a good idea. Sometimes the bag leaks a little bit too, and you'll want to pick that up before your wife sees it as well. In this video, I'm going to show you two blacktail bucks and how to process them. I have a medium size and a small size. It'd be really hard to justify the cost of getting the Euro mount for the spike, and so this is the perfect sample to work on yourself. It's a great piece to learn on. The cord I'm setting up isn't a mandatory, just a useful utility for when I start boiling. But what I do think is mandatory is having some tinfoil ready. Here you can see I'm wrapping the antlers in tinfoil. Really, you're just trying to keep the steam out of the pedicles. That way there's no chance of it softening and having an antler fall off of your skull. It's taken a while for my pot to start boiling, and it's not really a rolling boil. So I'm going to remove some water so that it starts boiling really good. The pot that I have has a built-in strainer, and it's got some shelves where it can be mounted such that it's halfway in. I'm going to use it in the halfway position and see if I can get some steam to these skulls first. There's an opening in the back of the head to access the inside of the skull, and that's why I've placed these upside down, to allow steam to work up and inside the skull first. And to keep my pot boiling, I'm going to use some tinfoil to close off any of the gaps. I let these boil for about 30 minutes, and then I checked them, and it looks like things are softening up quite well. But I do feel like the process is taking longer than it should. So I'm going to add some water so that the skulls are touching the boiling water, not just the steam. I'm also going to reposition the skulls so that the pedicles aren't submerged in the boiling water. You'll want to be careful with the skulls when you're moving things around because the nose and the cartilage are all very fragile, especially when heated up. Now that I'm going to put the strainer deeper, I don't need this tinfoil blocking my way. I can push it all the way down. I noticed that the smaller skull was hanging a little deep in the water, so I'm going to use some of this cord to hold it up and out of the water a little bit, because I don't want the pedicles to be submerged. They should be good in there for at least another 30 minutes. In the meantime, I'm going to set up a workstation, and I'm going to use a trash bag to isolate the table from all the gunk that I'm going to pull off the skull. If you've never done this before, expect the materials you're removing off the skull to feel very rubbery. They're going to be oily as well. If you have a dog at home, you don't want them to get into this, so I have this bucket that I'm going to put my scraps in, make sure that nothing falls on the ground. I was getting a lot off these skulls, and there was still a little bit more needing gone, so I decided to throw them back in the pot for a little bit. I also hung the bigger skull so that it was hanging a little bit higher out of the water. And now we have about 30 minutes to kill, so we stand by the fire and drink a beer. And 30 minutes later, we check the skulls, and things look like they've softened up quite a bit. So that second boil was a really good idea. Now I'm going to remove the tinfoil because that's no longer needed, and I'm going to scrape off all the little teeny pieces that are left. Some people use a pressure washer to do this step, and that might be a really great option. I don't have one at the moment, so I'm going to pick it off. And if you do that, it still can look great. Now I have semi-clean skulls to bring inside, and I'm going to take a knife and I'm going to scrape off any of the little teeny things I missed outside. The next step is to bleach these skulls and whiten them up. You can find this cream developer stuff at any beauty care place, and you'll look out of place when you walk in, but they'll probably know why you're there. Don't skimp on this, but also don't get anything on the antlers, because this will brighten anything it touches. Leave this for about a day or two after you're done, and then rinse it off. And if you think it's not white enough, you can repeat this step. Next, we're going to put the plaque together where it's going to mount to. This is a pretty simple design. You can print something out or just freehand it. Really just make it however you want it to look. I'm going to clamp this to the table and cut it out with a jigsaw. Anything will do here. If you have a bandsaw, that works too. I plan to route the edges so I can do a little bit of cleanup work with this jigsaw, and then the router table will make everything look real nice. If you don't have a router, then you could skip this next step, but if you do have a router, it's worth the time because it'll make it look a lot nicer. I use a scrap piece to see what the bit will do to the edges, and I like this one, so I'm going to use it. I think that turned out pretty good. Now it's time to put some mounting holes. Now for a bigger skull, you might need 2 mounting holes because the weight of the skull and antlers are going to be a lot more than the ones I'm mounting. I put 2 holes in this at this time, but as you'll see, I'll only really use one of them. So if you're doing a small skull, you'll only need to put 1 hole in. I'm also going to drill out a little space in the back to place a washer in some of the mounting hardware. You'll see why I do this in just a minute. Now that I have my holes drilled, it's time to sand. I started with something around 60 grit and worked my way up from there. On a small project like this, you can do everything by hand and it doesn't take all that long. Next, I'm going to drill a hole in the back of the skull. If you're worried about the skull cracking, I'd start with a smaller drill bit first and work your way up. For the mounting hardware I'm going to show you to use, you're going to need about a 1/2 inch hole here. And that turned out pretty good, and now I have another skull to do it on as well. I didn't make a mounting board for this skull because this is going to go right on the door of my outhouse. Next, we're going to stain our piece of wood, and you can grab whatever works for you. I had some of this walnut gel stain, and I like a real dark look, so I'm going to paint this on, and I'm not even going to wipe it off. I'm just going to let it sit. I'm basically using it as brown paint. And then after, I'm going to let it sit overnight. One thing I didn't use, but some people do use, is quick white powder, and you can mix that with the developer to get the skull to be much brighter white. In this project, I didn't use it, but if you want the skull to be brighter than what you're seeing here, mix in quick white powder. Okay, it's been a day, and now our stain has been cured. Time to mount and hang on the wall. I'm using 3-inch toggle bolts, and I'm going to pair it with 1 washer. I'm also going to use a sawtooth hanger. You may have seen these on the back of a picture frame before. They install pretty easily with 2 small nails. Next, let's attach the skull. I put the toggle bolt through the washer, and then all of that through the back of the board. You attach the toggle, and you want to make sure that it's in the correct orientation so that it holds the skull when you tighten it. And then you're going to push the toggle through the hole in the skull. The toggle that I have here has some tabs on the side, so it ended up being a little bit of a tighter fit on the way through, but no big deal. Once in, you tighten the toggle bolt, and that's going to tighten the skull right to the board. You want to make sure that the orientation of the skull to the board is good before you get it nice and tight, and once you get it tight, it's not going to wiggle around very much. To place this on the wall, it's going to be pretty easy. I'm going to install first a sheetrock anchor, and then inside of that, I'm going to put a single screw. And that screw needs to sit out just far enough to grab hold of that sawtooth hanger. And then you can hang it on the wall just like a normal picture frame. Awesome! You've successfully European mounted your deer, and you saved hundreds of dollars at the taxidermist doing it. If you found this video helpful, like and subscribe to help support the channel, and I'll see you on the next one.